And right here, you can see the big problem with that. Those grommets will pull free pretty quickly and ruin your tarp.
Thanks for joining me today. As always, this is just a demonstration of how I go about doing things. If you have a better way, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you decide to do one of these skills yourself, I would encourage you to research multiple sources. I've included a couple of excellent links in the description, as well as links to me doing these skills in real life. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you on the next skill.
So we've got some thunder going on. That gets a guy thinking about getting a tarp set up for a shelter. Today, I'm going to talk about a better way to string up a tarp. So if we're going to string up a tarp here, the way most people would connect it is using these grommets. And right here, you can see the big problem with that. Those grommets will pull free pretty quickly and ruin your tarp, even when the rest of it's good. So we're going to talk about a better way to attach a tarp to a rope. So I have my tarp. I know where I want it and how I know where I want it. So like I said, most people would attach to the grommet. I'm actually going to use what's called a lark's head knot. To tie a lark's head knot, you simply double your line over into what they call a bite and then tie an overhand knot. Now you've got a loop with an overhand knot. You'll want to make this loop fairly good sized. The next thing you're going to do is either run the end of your rope through that, or what I like to do is just reach through and grab this. Now you have a loop using this loop. And I'm just going to go over and pull that tight. As you pull that tight, you want to make sure you get past this knot. If this knot gets caught right here, then it's not going to hold. Once you get past that knot, if you pull it tight, now that's cinching onto the tarp itself. And so the whole tarp, there's some good thunder, that whole tarp would have to rip in order for this to break. I've had this hold for days and days in pretty strong winds. And anytime I have to attach a tarp now, that's how I do it. Now, little bonus tip. We're going to go to attaching the tarp to an object. So most people would be like, okay, I'm going to attach it here, and then they would tie it off. That works okay. Gives you a nice tight ridge line. However, that's going to rip really. If your wind gets strong enough to actually rip the tarp material, it's going to rip. So what I like to do is use a modern convenience known as a bungee cord, and I actually really like this style here for this. So what I'll do, measure it, tie another loop just like we did in the last example. This one doesn't have to be as big. Now feed your bungee cord through here, and then I like these because you can make them any length you want. Tighten it. Now what you've got is a very tight ridge line, but if you have a really strong gust, rather than ripping your tarp, it's got some give. And that give can be the difference between the tarp ripping and holding. I use the same method of attaching my corners down to the ground. If I was turning this into a camping tarp, I use the same method to attach my corners to the ground. Click the link for the next skill.